Okay, let me explain what I'm doing today. Yeah, I cut some of these limbs back. They're growing up on these tree stumps I left in the ground, but basically you just saw me remove a couple fence sections here, and that's because I have to take some more trees down. I need to get more light in my garden. These trees were an obstacle last year, so I'm gonna go ahead and take them down now while it's still winter. Everything's in the dormant state. And I'll be planting in about a month, so I need to get as much sunlight in the garden as I can at that time. So let me show you what trees I'm taking down. Hopefully, if I get through them all today, there will be 5 trees I fell. Okay, so the first 2 trees I'm going to start with is this little one back here. And of course I'm going to fell all my trees in this direction, towards where my food porch is going to be, where I already have other fallen trees, so the branches aren't going to get caught up in any other trees. They should fall pretty smoothly. Then I'm going to do this much larger tree, definitely not the biggest tree I took down, but it's a pretty big one. It's already leaning that direction. It's leaning in that direction. What I need to do is get it to fall slightly to the right in that direction. So that'll be a trick. The next tree I hope to take down is this pine tree again. I'll fell it that way, that's why I took those 2 fence sections out there. Then behind me, this poplar. This tree also is leaning in that direction. I need it to fall that direction. So we'll do a side cut, back cut with some wedges, try to get it to fall that way. Then, if I have time and I get to these 3 back trees here, I also want to fell this smaller tree right here. It's not very big, but once these other trees are out of the way, I should be able to fell it pretty smoothly. It's already leaning in the perfect direction, so that should be an easy one to fall. These other 2 big pine trees behind it, there's one right here, another one right over here. Both these trees, this one over here is leaning this way, so that's a really big tree. That's almost as big as the giant tree I took down over there. And it's really close to the gas tank. I'm really worried if I cut it down, it falls the wrong direction. I'm either gonna smash the tiny house I'm working on, or I'm gonna smash the gas tank, and I don't wanna do either of those things. The other tree behind it over here, that one is leaning that direction towards my gas tank, and I definitely do not want to try to take that one down myself. So those 2 trees, I will probably have to hire a professional tree service, which has all the equipment and everything to be able to climb up in them and start cutting them down from the top, working their way down using ropes and pulleys and other gear. Oh, I got something in my eye. To be able to take them down safely. So those 2 trees I'll probably have professionally taken down. And then that's it. That is all of the trees I want to take down. There are no more. Then it's just a matter of coming back, and where you see these branches coming up from other trees I've felled, just cutting these back, getting those root stumps dug up, and then finish my plumbing over here so I can re-landscape this whole area. So that's what I have going on today. We're going to start up here and take these 2 trees down first. important aspect to felling tree. Before you try to cut the tree down, you should make sure you have a clear path around the tree. This bush is an azalea. I'm going to leave this one. I'm trying to preserve it. But these stumps here, over here, behind me over here, these are stumps from trees I've already cut down. This is growth over the last year that's grown back up. So I just wanted to clear the branches off those so that I have a clear path through here. After I fall the tree, I'm going to have to go in and clean it up, cut it up. I need to be able to get around it. So this big log right here, I turn sideways so that when these trees fall, it'll actually be elevated off the ground. It's easier to process and cut up. So I'm going to move a couple tools here, put on my safety gear, and then we're going to go ahead and get this first tree cut down. Alright, a couple things before I cut this tree down. First of all, important safety gear. I've got a hard hat. Branches could fall out of the tree. The tree itself could fall the wrong way, land on me. This is going to protect my brain bucket. Gloves. Anytime you're working with a chainsaw, it's a good idea to wear gloves. These are made specifically for working with chainsaw. It's a tougher material. So if by some accident my hand gets caught in the chain, this is going to help protect me a little bit. Ear protection. A lot of people might think, oh, this isn't enough ear protection, but if you look at the rating on how many decibels this type of ear protection blocks compared to like the bigger over-the-ear earmuffs, then these are actually really good. Now ideally I would put these in my ears and then I'd put the big earmuffs over it, but this seems to be adequate for me for what I'm doing, especially today. And then you need eye protection. I've got my shades because the sun's right above me over here. I have a lot of sun in my eyes, so I want the tinted shades polarized so everything's still really clear. If the sun goes behind a tree or behind a cloud or something like that, I do have the clear ones, which gives me a little bit better visibility. And I'll set these aside just in case I need them. So now what I'm going to do is take my chainsaw. On the front side of this, I'm going to cut a wedge. I'm going to cut straight in, come back down at an angle. You only want to cut in about maybe 20% into the tree. It doesn't have to be a huge wedge. That wedge is going to help direct where this tree falls. I also took a rope and tied it to the base of this and then drag the rope out in this direction because that's the direction I want the tree to fall. And so that tells me where I need to place my wedge and what angle I need to place my wedge. So let me go put my gloves on, fire up my chainsaw again, we're going to cut this tree down. So what happened, as I was cutting the tree, the lean of the tree was actually more towards the small house here. I cut the wedge on this side, but when I did the back cut, it actually fell back on the chainsaw. There was enough of a lean in that direction though. I was able to get behind it, push on it, and it fell over almost exactly where I wanted it to fall. So that's one tree, one down. Okay, series of things happened after I turned the camera off. I was walking away from where I cut the tree down. Evidently the next tree I was going to cut down, the big tree, one of the dead branches fell, was rotting in the ground, got covered with leaves in the fall. As I was walking, my toe caught on it and I tripped. And when I came falling down, the stump I just trimmed all the little twigs off of that was sitting there, just smashed on my shin. It hurt so bad. So I had to go clean the blood up off of that, bandage it up. It's funny, I'm out here cutting down trees with a chainsaw. There's a million bad things that could happen. And the way I end up getting hurt is I trip over a rotten log and smash my shin on a tree stump. I get hurt walking. Isn't that funny? So then I came back out. I'm evaluating the next tree I was going to take down. And this is where it gets complicated. I've actually decided not to cut this tree down because of several reasons. So it is leaning towards, let me see if I can show you with the camera. It actually is leaning towards the small house right here. Now I might be able to get enough angle out of it to get it to come back towards the camera where we're at right now, but I might not. It's unpredictable, because the problem is, if you look up that tree, is right about midway it straightens out. So the bottom half of the tree is leaning this way. The top half of the tree is actually going straight up. Give me just a second to move the camera. I'm going to show you from another angle because you can see it a lot clearer. Okay, so this is the tree right here that I want to cut down, and we're going to follow this up. You can see the lean in it. It goes out. You can see the lean in it, and then look right there. Let me zoom in on that spot. You can see it bends and it actually straightens out right there. And because of that straight part, and then it goes on up the probably equal distance. So it's really right halfway in the middle of the tree. Now if the whole thing was leaning, I think I could get it to fall the way I wanted it to. But because part of it goes straight, it's unpredictable to me. I'm just not skilled enough to make this tree fall where I want it to. And I don't want it to fall on my small house and smash it into pieces and then have to go back and fix that. So I'm going to have a professional take that tree down. So normally what I would do is I would just go ahead and take this tree down right here, take that tree down right there, and it's really hard to see, but there's a skinny tree right here I could take down. But all three of those trees, to be able to take those trees down, that one tree is in the way. Their branches will get caught up in it, which could change the course of how they're falling, and I'm not going to take that chance either. So I cannot take any more trees down back here until that tree is gone, and I'm going to have to hire someone to take that tree down. So what I'm going to do is hire someone to take 4 trees down for me, that tree, and another one that's further up my property. After they cut those down, I'm going to tell them to take a lunch break. I'm going to take these other 3 trees down, and then I'll have them come back and take those 2 large pine trees that you see right here. See if I can get my finger in focus. These 2 large trees right here, both of those need to come down. And because the way they're leaning and they're close to my gas tank, I'm going to have to hire someone to cut those 2 down also. So for 4 trees, I'll hire someone to cut down, and then I'll take down the rest. So at this point, I'm going to process the 1 tree I did cut down, get my fence sections put back up, because the dogs are crying to come running in the yard, and then we'll call it a day. Okay. Firewood. Got a little warm out here, so I had to take some layers off. Just wanted to clean up all that wood and everything. It's easier to come through here, bring the firewood I cut up, dump it over near the firewood pile. Notice I didn't stack it because all that wood I cut is green, so I'm gonna let it sit until next fall, stack it up with the rest of the wood, and it should be good by then. For now, I need to get my fence sections put back in. more screws. Tie all this together. All right, let me let the pups out. All right, now that those fence sections are back in, I'm gonna come here and clean up this one a little bit. Worked on this in a previous video. We're just gonna clean that up a little bit more. Hello, puppy. Hello there. Hi, Oscar. Hi, Oscar. Where did I put my drill? Ah. Stump's crumbling. Those things are hard to get out of the ground. That one surprisingly came out easy. Probably it's all the rain we had lately. Probably softened the ground up, so I was able to get it out. So, all right, put some fence back in. Again, this is just temporary fence, but it'll give me walk area behind here so I can get to all my garden beds. Using these staples for tacking wires in new construction, and it's going to hold that fence, wire mesh against the wooden fence over there. Babe. It's a really bad angle. Alright. I should hold it good. I put one more in the middle. Right here. That's gonna hold good. Let's do the post now. Alright. This is a very beat up piece of fencing. It existed here already when I moved into this house, and I'm just reusing it in different places. Do fence patching. And see if I can find the screw I dropped, or the staple I dropped. Landed right here somewhere. Well, I have to get another one. It's good enough for the temporary fencing I need it for. There. I'll put those 6x6s I have at the base. So little critters, rabbits, squirrels, things like, well, squirrels can climb over, but rabbits and such don't try to push under the fence because, again, it's real flimsy here. So just kind of keep them out. Discourage them, really, is all I'm trying to do. Let me clean this up, trim all this off. Mud on there in the end. All right, that cleans that up. Go. There we go. Okay, that's one bed. I'll give you a closer look here in a second. It took 7 wheelbarrow fulls to fill it. To the point it's at, it's about 3-4 inches from the top. And I stopped there because I'm going to come back and put mulch on top of it. I didn't really do lasagna beds where you go like mulch, dirt, mulch, dirt, mulch, dirt. But this dirt I'm using, I've actually been working with for a long time. I bought some dirt from a local landscape place, and they do a 50-50 compost topsoil mix. And I used it in my garden beds that were in my old garden over there. I moved all that dirt, mixed it with some new dirt I bought in the back, and then I also put some compost on there too when I get ready to plant. I may put the compost down before I do the mulch on the top. So yeah, 7 wheelbarrow fulls, that's not too bad. I've got a lot of dirt left. I should have no problem filling all 5 of these beds and still have some dirt left over, so that's good. So let me give you a closer look, and then we're going to turn the camera around and do the other bed also. So here's the bed, all filled up with dirt. Clean up the edge a little bit there. You can see I left it probably 3 to 4 inches from the top. I'll put about 2 or 3 inches of mulch in on top of that. And of course all of this will pack down a little bit. The mulch will break down, so I can come back with compost every season, just kind of top it off, and the compost will leach down into the soil, feeding nutrients to the roots of the plants as I continue to grow and use these beds. So that's what I did over here. I'll turn to the side beds. You can see I filled them up. In fact, you can look here and see some of the onions I planted are starting to come up here. And I've got mulch here. It goes down about 2 inches. I think I've probably put 3 or 4 inches over here also, and it's just broken down. That was last spring I did that. And then I got this nice black rich soil right here. Stays loose, drains good. It's really good combination of silt and sand and clay, and it's a good balance of soil. So there we go.
Unfortunately, as I was recording the video for filling the second bed, my battery died on my camera, and I got the bed filled before I realized that my battery was dead. So I'm going to go ahead and let the film roll out to the end here, but in the meantime I just wanted to remind you to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you get alerts the next time a video is posted. Thank you for watching.
It's a fence around this thing for a reason. I don't want dogs in here. They dig in my beds, they poop on everything, mark their territory. I don't want it.